If you have questions, concerns, and are just lost when it comes to planning for retirement, meet Steve Hoyl and Derrick Caldwell of the Hoyl Financial Group. You know, you hear a lot of times, oh my gosh, I'm never going to be able to retire. I'm inevitably going to work till I die. How can I even afford this? Well, according to a new survey by TIAA, nearly 2/3 of Americans say retiring between the ages of 65 and 70 is just unattainable. They plan to work until they physically can't. What's their number one reason? Well, they say replacing the guaranteed income that their job provided because Social Security is just not enough. So for listeners that have saved and saved, but they don't think it's enough, Derrick, what do you say to that?
Well, first of all, I mean, we talk about this in our education classes. We do throughout the panhandle, guys. Social Security is not enough, and you should know that. You should put away. Honestly, Jess, I'm sad when I see that survey number and everything, that it is totally attainable, guys. The thing is to focus on your retirement just like you do on anything else. If you put half as much thought and planning into your retirement as you do what you're going to do, you know, at work the next week and everything, you're going to be in great shape. The thing is to make it intentional, put money aside, and make sure you're maximizing that. I mean, it's one of those things that, you know, I say all the time, Steve, is work smarter, not harder. Make your money work for you, and make sure you're diversified in the sense that you have some safety, you have some growth in your portfolio, and you have income in your portfolio. All these things we can show you when you sit down with us. But absolutely do not sit here and tell me that you cannot retire. I'll tell you all this because I have two wonderful clients, and they do amazing things. Now, don't get me wrong. They are tight with money, guys. I'll tell you that in advance. But the wife has never worked. The husband retired at 67 years old, and he never made more than $35,000 a year in his entire life. Yes.
No way. No way.
Yeah, I'm telling you, they are tight with money, so I'll say that in advance. But they are worth several $1 million today.
They go without, okay? I mean, when they go out and eat, I mean, they're rolling food up at the buffet, trust me. But it works for them.
Yeah, they do some things I wouldn't do, but there's always a trade-off. And I'm not saying that you have to be that tight and everything, but when I think of them and I think of what they've accomplished through their life, saving, scrimping by, not buying that new TV and everything, that's when I see something like this and I'm like, absolutely you can. It's what you're willing to give up, maybe. But there's so many people listening to this radio station right now that makes more than $35,000 a year, I guarantee you. And if you sit there and think you cannot do it, I'm here to tell you that you can. It's about putting a plan in place and getting your butt in gear. I'll tell you. You can do amazing things if you save. And maybe that means you don't have the brand new Lexus car and things like that. But I'm telling you, you can do it. I'm one of those that, hey, no excuses, because I have that client as a model. And I have people that make $300,000 a year and don't have two pennies to rub together. I see extremes. And so somewhere in between is probably where you lie, guys. But you can do great things if you focus on it.
But I think one step further, Derrick, is about income. What people are trying to do is replace their income. And if they get started early, we've used annuities and let them roll up for a couple of years. When you're 59 and a half, you can take control of your money and all of a sudden do something with that where it rolls up 8, 9, and 10% for income each for 4 or 5 years. And then that income is something you can't outlive. So it's about leveraging your money. So I think the biggest thing that people need to do is either think about giving us 2 hours, as you say, or giving your boss 2 more years. It's totally up to you.
Now, Derrick and Steve, we talk about all the time here on the show about giving you guys 2 hours of their time to put a plan in place and to start looking at the rest of their life, or give their boss 2 more years. So let's talk about that first 2 hours that, you know, somebody's going to call in and sit down with you. Do I bring all my statements? Can it be over the phone? Is it only in person? Give me all the details of what that first meeting encompasses.
Yeah, obviously, I mean, me and Steve are still handshake guys. We're Texans. We like to see you in person and everything, but we do have the ability to do by phone and by Zoom, whatever works with your schedule, because the most important thing is making that first step. That's what we're here to tell you. We do everything. So when I say, hey, all these things, this is kind of a catch-all, but there's a lot of data that we need. Your statements are a great place to start. Social Security statement as well. Any pensions you might have. Even bank statements. We help people budget. Something as simple as budget. Sometimes people have never really sat down and said, hey, how do I save money, or how do I allocate 10% to my 401k? Most people in America are really, really good at paying bills. We get that bill in, we're going to pay it. The only problem is with that $1,500 that's left over, maybe. That's what I call discretionary spending. That's our trips to Starbucks. That's our trips to, movies or whatever. And it's the money that goes away if it's not allocated. We just spend it. And I will help you budget even to, hey, let's make sure we have $300 a month going to savings, things like that. We do everything from point A to Medicare to Social Security help. Guys, that's what we're here for. Steve built this firm to be very holistic, and we want you to be able to come to us, and if we don't know the answer, we're going to find the answer for you guys.
I think one of the things that we see is people don't retire because they have this huge credit card debt. They may have $3 or $4 million in the oil field saved, but they have this huge credit card debt. Let us help you figure that out. I think another thing people don't save because they spend everything they make every month and clean it out, but they save great. We can fix that problem. We just have to sit down and address it head on. And it's a really easy fix once we talk about it. Everybody gets on the same page. I think the numbers never lie, but so many people are working. I think another thing a lot of people are working for is a second marriage, and they've never talked about their estate planning. What are we going to do if something happens to us? Who are we going to leave our money to? When you sit down and talk about it, you can figure it out together. Is it uncomfortable? Absolutely. But when you have somebody like us in the room, we make it palatable. Let's just talk about this. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. I talk so much, Derrick, about psychology of money. It's 25% about the numbers, but 75% about the emotions. So don't let those emotions keep you from retiring this year if that's what you want to do.
Yeah, Steve, and that first meeting, like Jess was asking there, the first meeting, we're going to get to know you. Before you even meet with us, Tiffany or Alicia from our office will send you a list of things that you want to start to gather and bring to that meeting. The faster you get them to us, the faster I can start working on it. But if there's something that's missing, hey, that doesn't stop you from coming to our first meeting, because the first meeting is to get to know you, because every single person listening today has a different dream of what they want to do in retirement. They have different goals. Some people want to work some people want to volunteer, and some people want to travel. Everybody's different. So that's that first meeting, is to get to know you and really dig into what retirement looks for you. And then we're going to get you there. That's our whole plan. Is that first meeting is to get to know you, figure out what makes you tick, and how we're going to get you there. And that second meeting, we're going to show you exactly the good, the bad, the ugly is what I call it. These are the things that you're doing great. These are the things, hey, we need to adjust a little bit. And hey, these are the things we have to stop. We're going to make sure, if you tell me that you want to retire at 67, these are the things that we need. I think people are real detail oriented, and especially like if you give somebody a list, we're great at that. Most people across the board, hey, if you write down A, B, C, D, and E, they're going to knock it out. So we're very clear on exactly how we are going to get to that retirement stage of life. Yeah, so if you want to take that first step on that retirement road, give us a call today. Let me assure you, it's a painless procedure. We're going to sit down, get to know each other, and make sure that we can get you on that retirement road today. So give us a call.
Picture this, right? You get the income plan completed. You got your portfolio plan ready to go. You're ready to go into retirement, but wait just a second. There's one more puzzle piece you got to think about, and that is taxes. Right, Steve?
Absolutely. Taxes can actually be over a third of your retirement expenses. And if you can come in early, have a tax strategy in place, maybe Roth those pre-tax dollars, all of a sudden, wow, you can all of a sudden possibly have your Social Security not taxable, not to have to pay the Medicare tax. That's when people really call us, Derrick. They've been retired about 6 months, and all of a sudden they're like, oh my God, you didn't tell me about this Medicare tax. It's huge. But if we can have a tax plan in place where you have tax-free income in retirement, it's everything, Derrick.
Yeah, proper planning goes a long way with that. And the IRS is your partner. It's in everything you do. And, there's Roth IRAs and there's a lot of strategies, but getting them planned in advance is the biggest way to do that. We set up a lot of exit strategies for businesses because selling a business is not something you just do, pull the trigger and be done with, because they will kill you on taxes. We have helped many, many people throughout the Panhandle sell their business and transition out of that, and work with accountants that are fantastic on just limiting the amount of taxation that you create with that sale and what you do with the money. All these things have to be set up in advance before you do that. And, there's a lot of things that can trigger taxes that you don't know. Like you mentioned, Steve, the Medicare tax, not anybody talks about that, right?
No,
I mean, how many times do they talk about that? And even Medicare. Oh, man, based upon the income that you have before you retire, guys, Medicare can kick your butt. So you need to know that before going into retirement, and just so it's properly planned for. My whole opinion is you need to go into retirement with no surprises. The surprises are bad if you're in retirement.
Well, I think it's so important to have a tax strategy. So if you don't know what your taxes look like in your retirement coming up, or if you're already retired, it's not too late, already retired, to fix the tax strategy, to all of a sudden create a tax-free income strategy. It's so important. Call us today. Let's look at your taxes, how much you're paying or how much you're going to pay, and let's come up with a strategy. Derrick talked earlier about closely held businesses and helping people have an exit strategy. Well, I think one of the things that Derrick does best is really help people figure out their options. I sat down in my calculus class at Texas Tech in the 80s with this young lady, and I didn't realize all these years later that we'd still be best friends and they would be huge clients of ours. But, her husband inherited a business and he loved the business, and his dad didn't ever want him to sell the business, but they've created such an incredible income strategy with rental properties and everything. But they're so stressed. He's so stressed about what to do. And they'd become our clients, and they were meeting with Derrick, and she kind of brought it up. And to be honest, her husband runs the show, so it was kind of a little rough spot. But after their meeting, she called me up on my cell phone and said, she calls me Stevie. Stevie, let me tell you what Derrick did. And, he really sat down and painted this picture of different options, what to do with that business. And it really changed how they felt mentally about having options. So I think when you have somebody like Hoyl on your side, we've been doing this for nearly 37 years, and you can really find out what those different options are. We can help you figure out an exit strategy, or if you want to buy a business, how to buy a business. But, having somebody on your side to look at it objectively is everything, Derrick.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's one of those things that, even if I think I know what's wrong with the car, right, I take it to a mechanic. How many people buy a house and they do all the paperwork? Nobody, right? Everybody uses a closing, company to do all that stuff because that's what they do. And here at Hoyl Financial, we do retirement planning. That's what we do day in, day out. Everything we do is geared towards our clients. And we're blessed to have amazing clients just all over the place. I mean, from New Mexico to South Carolina, Steve, I think is the longest one here. Now, one in Washington, too. So it's pretty nice. But we learn through challenges that we've seen over the years, too. That's one thing I get a lot is, new clients come on. They're like, honestly, my advisor, he's either too old or too young. A lot of times it's like, well, don't go get an advisor. I'm here to tell you that's 20 years old. He doesn't know anything. I mean, the guy wasn't even aboard.
He knows what he knows. He knows what he was told to say.
And don't get me wrong, there's some great people out there, so I don't want to say that. But, Steve, 37 years, man. I mean, there's so many things that you've seen, too, that even I haven't. And, It's good to have that experience on your side, I'll say that. One of the things that we see time in, time out is just our clients learning from our experience and being able to walk hand in hand through retirement. I love the fact that we have clients that we're there day one before they even retired. And now we're being invited to the retirement parties. And we have some that are 10 years down the road past retirement, and they're thanking us that, hey, this is a stress-free retirement for them and things like that. And they're going to, eat donuts and coffee with us and things like that. They don't have a care in the world. I love that. That's what we do.
If you'd like to sit down with Steve and Derrick or a member of the Hoyl Financial Group, visit retiretexasstyle.com.
Investment advice offered through Hoyl Wealth Management, a Texas-registered investment advisor able to provide investment advice in states where it's registered, exempt, or excluded from registration. Content contained herein should not be construed as an offer or solicitation for investment advice or for the purchase or sale of any security, insurance, or other investment product. Investments involve the risk of loss, including possible loss of principal. Please consult with a qualified financial, tax, accounting, or legal professional before implementing any ideas or strategies discussed here. Content provided is obtained from sources believed to be reliable but cannot be guaranteed as to its accuracy or completeness. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance products, including annuities offered through Steve Hoyl, Texas Insurance License 716036. Annuity guarantees rely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. Read your contract for restrictions, limitations, or penalties. Steve Hoyl is not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if Steve Hoyl is licensed in your state, please call 806-371-9473.